All right, so you've brought us a game that honestly at first glance seemed kind of like, okay, Jaguars, Bears, week 6, whatever.
Right.
But the more I got into these articles, the notes, it hit me this wasn't just another Sunday, you know. This felt different, like almost a turning point for both these teams. What was it for you that really stuck out?
It's almost like this one game, it became this weird sort of litmus test for both these franchises,
Yeah.
where they were headed. But it's more than that. It's like the actual plays, the decisions made on that field.
Yeah.
It's a playbook, right? For what really builds a winning team in the NFL.
That's what grabbed me. Let's break it down. So we've got the Jags coming off a pretty strong 2023. Everyone's watching to see if they can keep that going.
See, and that's where it gets interesting. A lot of the analysts, they were saying, oh, the Jags 23 season, easy schedule, that's all it was. But week 6 against the Bears, this was their shot to prove them wrong.
And they did. They really did, pretty convincingly. Okay, before we get into the actual game itself, gotta talk about Trevor Lawrence. I mean, the guy was on fire that season.
Lawrence, he's like the perfect example of how, for quarterbacks, it's not just about the stats. Yeah, he was throwing rockets out there, but it was the leadership, developing right in front of our eyes. You see it in these articles.
Yeah, yeah. There's this one story, right? Lawrence calls an audible at the line, and it completely throws the Bears' D off. Huge gain for the Jags. Seemed like that kind of woke them up or something.
100%. That right there, that's the decision making. The guts to take a risk, trust your gut. That's what separates, the good from the greats.
And wasn't it around then that, his connection with those receivers really clicked?
Like they were reading each other's minds out there. This article, it quotes Mike Williams, his wide receiver. He says, "We were in each other's heads. Trevor knew where I was going before I even did."
Man, you can't teach that. And gotta imagine the Bears were feeling the heat right from the start. Wasn't their season off to, well, not the best start, to say the least?
That's putting it lightly. These articles, there's this feeling, right? Like the Bears, they came into week 6 already dragging all this weight, Fans are hungry, the pressure's on, gotta win.
And their quarterback situation, not exactly helping things either, huh?
It was, it was a revolving door under center, Not exactly the recipe for a good offense. This game, it was more than just a win for them. It was a chance to figure out, who they were going to be for the rest of the season, at the most important position.
So we've got these two teams, right? Totally different stories coming into this week 6 game. Gotta be some serious electricity in the air, right?
Oh, yeah, you can cut the tension with a knife, Jags are riding high, Bears are desperate. The way it all went down, I'm telling you, it was like something out of Shakespeare.
Okay, now you're just messing with me. All right, walk me through it. When does this game go from just another Sunday to, this turning point, this thing we keep coming back to?
The third quarter. That's when everything changed. The Jags D, it was like someone flipped a switch at halftime. They came out swarming, just forcing the Bears into mistake after mistake.
Was there, a single play, one of those moments that just shifted everything?
It wasn't just one play. It was more like a chain reaction. This one article, it talks about Coach Miller, the Jags defensive coordinator, gives this speech at halftime. And it wasn't a yelling thing. No, he's too smart for that. He gets the guys together, and he just walks them through every single mistake. Quietly, calmly, like he's dissecting a play in slow motion, shows them exactly how the Bears are picking them apart, and then he changes it up. Starts talking about family, brotherhood, having each other's backs out there.
I bet that got their attention.
Oh, you better believe it. The players, they said it was like this weight lifted off them. They go back out there with a purpose, and bam, the turnovers start. One after another, like clockwork.
You were saying earlier about Lawrence calling those audibles. Was that still happening in the third?
Oh, absolutely. 3rd and 8, right.
Right.
Bears send the house. Lawrence somehow dances out of the pocket, keeps his eyes downfield, finds Etienne, his tight end, wide open 45 yards.
Dude, I can only imagine that crowd.
Deafening. That play, I think that's what broke them. The Bears, they were never the same after that.
Okay, but the Bears, they didn't just roll over, right? Didn't they have a shot to come back in the 4th?
They did. Down by 2 touchdowns, but they stringed together this drive late in the 4th. For a minute there, it felt like, hey, maybe they could pull off a miracle, right?
So what happened? What stopped them?
Their quarterback, all that pressure, throws a pick. Right there, red zone. Less than 2 minutes left.
Man, you hate to see it. So close. What's going through the Bears' minds at this point? Can you even imagine?
I mean, how could you not, right? The whole season on your shoulders, gotta win, and
That.
brutal. For a team that's already kind of lost, that one had to sting.
And for the Jags, this wasn't just another W, right? It was like they're making a statement. Like, hey, we're building something real here.
No doubt. The interviews after the game, Coach Peterson, he's not exactly Mr. Emotions,
Yeah.
But even he couldn't hide it. He talked about how that win, it showed their guts, Keep your head down, focus, get it done, even when things are crazy.
Yeah, that whole winning culture thing, it's more than just talent, right? The Jags, they had that belief in themselves and each other. And you could just tell that spreads.
Contagious. It's accountability, it's trust, leadership, the whole package.
Hmm.
Lawrence, in one of these articles, he says, and I quote, "This team, we don't fear failure." Like, whoa. We'll screw up, he says, but we learn and we come back stronger. That's a team that's ready for anything.
And that's what's so wild about this Week 6 game. It's like this perfect little story, right? Two teams headed in opposite directions. Jags are figuring it out, and the Bears are, well, still trying to find their way.
Shows you, the NFL, right.
Yeah.
You can't predict it. One game, one quarter, one play, and everything changes. Just like that.
I'm telling you, this deep dive, it's been something else. It's crazy how much you can learn from just one game.
Yeah.
About a team, their character, what they're made of.
It reminds you, right? Sports. It's not just about the scoreboard. It's the stories, the emotions, all the drama, on the field, off the field. It's all connected.
Totally. Makes you think, right? How many other games, just regular season games, ended up being these huge moments? Like, you look back, you're like, wow, that changed everything.
I think that's what makes this game so fascinating. It's like, yeah, the NFL is unpredictable, but sometimes, just sometimes, you get these moments that show you the truth. The truth about a team, about a player, about the whole league even.
So for everyone listening, let us know what games stick out to you. The ones that maybe didn't seem like a big deal at the time, but looking back, you're like, man, that was huge EE. Hit us up on social media. Let's keep the conversation going. And until next time, keep diving deep.